A pregnant mother of 3 heads out to visit the father of her unborn child. She hasn't been seen since. Months prior, a teenager goes missing from the same neighborhood. Both families plead with the media for help. Are these cases connected? With the clock ticking, can law enforcement explain what happened? My name is M. William Phelps. I'm an investigative journalist and the true crime author of close to 50 books. I've dedicated the past 20 years of my life to helping families of the missing and murdered. Join me next for this Crossing the Line with M. William Phelps shortcut. So this is a special shortcut episode. Sort of an outreach. Cases I don't want to see disappear from public discourse because it's obvious there are people with information who can help get these families some answers. So if you can pass this episode around your social media, text a link to people, and get word out about these cases, who knows? It could make a difference. Gary, Indiana is perhaps best known as the home of the Jacksons, Michael, Tito, Jermaine, and the rest. It's a blue-collar, steel-based, working-class city with what is the largest steel mill in North America. Located southeast of Chicago, Gary butts up against the south shoreline of Lake Michigan in the northernmost part of the state. Certain sections of Gary can be dangerous places, mainly in the center of the city, Central Avenue and Marshalltown Drive, and even further east, a section known as Miller. According to the latest crime data, Miller has an average per capita income lower than 96% of the neighborhoods in the entire United States. And yet Central Ave and Marshalltown Drive come in at 99.4%, making it almost the poorest neighborhood in the country. And I just want to say I'm not putting the good people who live there down. I want to be clear about that. I am only stating the factual data as it stands, which can, as we know, play a role in crime. Within this area of Gary, just blocks from the Jackson family's original home where Michael first performed for neighbors, family, and friends, is the 2500 block of Connecticut Street near St. John's Baptist Church. It's October 10th, 2024. 25-year-old Emma Baum is 9 months pregnant, and according to what family later tells the media, she is already 1 centimeter dilated, meaning the baby is coming at any moment now. Emma has a youthful energy and innocence about her, I might say. She's 5 feet 3 inches tall, about 135 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. One of her trademarks is to wear wigs of various colors and hairstyles. She also has several tattoos, one of which curls around the left side of her lower neck. She also has a bit of scarring on her arms, I read in one report. In a photo of Emma, she has long blonde hair, very fair skin, and sports a smile. Pregnant, she looks thrilled to be having another child. And I want to say that those seemingly common, maybe even random, but also vital details of the people I often talk about in some of these cases is for the purposes of identification so that anyone listening who might know something, might recognize the person, will say something. And with the cases I have here in this episode, I do believe there are people who have information, but for whatever reason have not come forward. That old cliche, somebody knows something. Because for Emma Baum's family, on this day, October 10th, 2024, as she heads out the door and is reportedly seen on Connecticut Street, it will be the last time anyone sees her. My sister is beautiful, energetic. She reaches for the sky. She's like a sunflower. Emma's sister, on the brink of tears, tells the media during a standout not long after Emma goes missing. The family says it's unlikely Emma would have taken off on her own, considering that she has 3 children, ages 2 to 6 years old, at home already, and she's dilating. She's going to have a baby any minute. Emma was in Gary visiting her boyfriend, who lives in the brown house on Connecticut Street where she was last seen leaving from. And Emma lives in Portage, 10 miles away. So that is not walking distance. What's unknown at this time is why Emma is not reported missing until October 28th, basically 18 days after she disappears. No sooner is Emma reported missing, Gary police pick up her boyfriend, but not for anything related to Emma's disappearance. He is arrested on an unrelated warrant for failure to appear in court. I know what you're thinking. A reason to bring him in. But those are the facts. I've said this before on the show, but it bears repeating until the people in charge of creating and making change, our elected officials, freaking do something about it. But the number one cause of death in this country for pregnant women is murder. Think about that statement for a moment. With everything that can go wrong during pregnancy, it is homicide a woman has to be most concerned about. It says something about the men expecting fathers because, look, let's be frank, these pregnant women are not being murdered randomly, for the most part, by strangers. Just doesn't happen. We're talking about cowardly expecting fathers who cannot live up to their obligations and responsibilities committing these heinous acts. I'm not saying that is what happened in Emma's case, but it's important to mention those facts. Emma's mother comes right out not long after and tells the media that she believes the boyfriend had something to do with her daughter's disappearance. That is definitely a possibility that Gary police begin investigating immediately. But I will say, there is another part of this case which needs to be looked at because, as we all know, there are rarely coincidences in murder, only facts and connections. You see, Emma is not the only young female to have gone missing from this same general area of Connecticut Street in Gary, Indiana. So let's take our only break of the show, come right back, and get into that part of this case. Back on August 11th, 2024, 2 months before Emma is last seen, 13-year-old Janiyah McMichael is out and about and goes missing in the same general neighborhood. Janiyah has black hair, brown eyes, weighs about 110 pounds, and she's 5 feet 2 inches tall. Police say at the time Janiyah went missing, she, quote, may also have been pregnant. With that said, police never mentioned later if they think both cases are related or connected. But it's hard not to at least consider a connection based on location, time frame, victim profiles, and the potential that Janiyah could have also been pregnant. Even taking the alleged pregnancy, which has never been confirmed, out of the equation, there are too many similarities. Meanwhile, Emma Baum's family continues to make emotional pleas to the media, and several details come out of that. One I find incredibly telling is they claim that after Emma was dropped off at her boyfriend's home on 25th Avenue and Connecticut Street, that is the last time anyone saw her. And there's no indication from anyone else that she ever left that brown house I mentioned before the break. So those two facts seem a little bit murky, but I think I'm going to go with what the family says. They would know best, I think. The home in question is in what has been described as a dismal, desolate area of the neighborhood. What's more, Emma did not have a working phone at the time of her disappearance. This is one of the reasons why she went over to her boyfriend's, the father of the child she is carrying, to go with him to get her phone activated. During those days immediately after Emma disappeared, friends and family head out to the neighborhood and begin distributing flyers and knocking on doors. They even stop traffic and talk to people driving by. Volunteers soon start helping, and several fields in the area are searched by volunteers and eventually police canines. Haley Baum, Emma's sister, tells the media this. I have stopped people walking. I have talked to anybody I could. We are looking in abandoned houses. Her mother, Jamie, adds, we're always going to look for her. I am never going to stop looking for her. My whole family will never stop looking for you, Emma. Nothing comes out of those searches. As weeks pass, and it's obvious Emma has given birth by now, police are effectively searching for two people. Police do ultimately question the father of Emma's child, and several news outlets, I should say, have named him. As I said earlier, he was arrested on an unrelated charge on October 29th, a failure to appear warrant related to possession of a controlled substance. But he is also released. He has not been charged in connection with Emma's case, and I don't see what good naming the guy would do here. He was the last person to be with Emma, so police obviously have a statement from him about his last interaction with her. And at this time, that statement is enough for them not to pursue the guy any further, which is both baffling and, quite honestly, telling. This case is very fluid. It's very active as I record this. But like I said at the top, the reason I chose this case and Jemiah's case is if somebody knows something, phone it in. Email me. There's also some indication that Emma had a pending court appearance herself, so that could play into this. But I don't see how a woman 9 months pregnant could escape a computer system search of area hospitals unless she had the baby herself alone somewhere or took off out of state. So reports of Emma ducking out on her court date as she is ready to give birth and disappearing on her own accord are not high on my list of probabilities here. Is it possible? Certainly. Probable? I don't think so. Emma's boyfriend also came out on social media and proclaimed that Emma disappeared after leaving his house. But that's all he said. Of course, social media and online chatter is a dangerous place to visit when looking for a missing person, simply because speculation and erroneous information is mixed and often tethered to even the simplest provable facts and can truly have a grave effect on these types of cases. It can actually hinder the process of finding the person. Within these types of missing person cases, it's important to mention there is an emotional bondage the family becomes enveloped in because there are no answers yet. You are literally hanging on every single bit of information that comes out, no matter who posts it or where it comes from. That's just human nature as a family member. So it's extremely insensitive and hurtful to family members to post gossip and rumor on social media. They are listening. They are watching. They are hanging on every single word. My point in choosing this story for a shortcut is to keep it alive, keep it active, keep people talking about it. Somebody does know something, as I have said. I am certain of this. And equally important is the fact that Janiah McMichael is also still missing from that same general neighborhood. In her case, it's been reported that a host of misinformation spreading around social media has hampered that investigation and put it into a sort of free fall. The Gary Police Department even felt the need to issue a statement indicating how a lot of the information on social media about Janiah's case is unvetted and people need to stop posting bullshit and rumors and hearsay. Of course, they didn't put it that way. That was my take on it. I suspect the notion that Janiah was pregnant could be part of that nonsense social media users glom onto and run with. There is still no official word that she was or was not pregnant. Social media is both a blessing and a curse in missing person and active murder investigations. And I would lean more toward the latter. Too much speculation and lying is spread too easily. It can have a deleterious effect on how law enforcement manage an investigation and is often the cause of wasting lots of critical time looking into what are nothing but internet rumors. Another problem becomes scumbags on the internet using a situation like this to scam people out of money by soliciting donations to help find someone or setting up fake GoFundMe type pages. That is beyond criminal. profiting off the grief and vulnerability of suffering people? Come on. We have to begin to hold people online accountable for this type of bullshit, drivel, and the spreading of misinformation. It's unacceptable. There are enough hindrances law enforcement and families have to deal with without social media adding an entire new level of confusion, pain, and misinformation. People getting online using other people's pain for clicks and likes is beyond the pale of being insensitive. It dishonors and re-victimizes those families and victims. I've had enough of it, as you can hear. Some idiot with a TikTok, Instagram page, or a YouTube show calling themselves a true crime expert, spewing opinions about a case, adding lies and false facts, looking to build an audience, is dangerous. None of these people are qualified enough to work at a fucking fast food restaurant. Better yet, comment about an ongoing investigation or interpret facts and documents. And all of these lawyers now starting true crime channels on YouTube and the like, well, look, I'll leave it there for now and revisit again. I promise you that. The FBI and Gary police did serve a search warrant on a local home in Janiyah McMichael's case, but haven't given any details about whose home, where, or what, if anything, was found. WGN TV 9 News then reported that the warrant was executed at the home where Janiyah was last seen. Janiyah's grandmother said in that same report that Janiyah is not a street kid. She never did anything like run away or even hung around with troubled kids. Gary police originally deemed Janiyah a missing person / runaway, whatever the hell that is. Her life matters, her grandmother says. Anyone with information on Janiyah's or Emma's disappearances, please contact the Gary Police Department at 219-881-1209. I'll put this number in the show notes for this episode. That's it for this Crossing the Line shortcut. I'll be back soon with another, but tune in for regular weekly episodes of Crossing the Line on Wednesday nights at midnight. Be safe, be aware, be alert. Sources for this shortcut include Alejandro Josen's reporting on wideopencountry.com in November 2024 was very helpful gathering information for me here. Pregnant Gary woman missing over 1 month. Family seeks answers by Evelyn Holmes, ABC News 7, November 15th, 2024. Pregnant Indiana woman, 25, has been missing for more than a month. Marina Watts, People Magazine, November 17th, 2024. What's Missing in Missing Person Investigations by Kristen Kuchno, Miami Herald, June 22nd, 2023. Crossing the Line is executive produced by M. William Phelps, LLC, and Matthew Valentinus, Mom's Basement Management. Written by me, M. William Phelps. Audio mastering and mixing by Matt Russell. Music by Epidemic Sound. Original music written and performed by Thomas Mooney, Tom Phelps, and Matt Russell.